You spent. I want to talk a little bit about the Hawks series, your last series of playing basketball, but just sort of as like a general sort of overview of spending the basically a year addressing your mental health and sort of going through that process, which is not an easy thing. I've talked about it a ton. I've been through it. It didn't start, I assume, in the Hawks series, but did the events of the Hawks series sort of trigger a deepening spiral or whatever was going on? Did it exacerbate the problem?
I think it was like, I'm already dealing with a lot mentally just in life, as a lot of people do. But it got to a point where after that series, I'm getting it's like from the people that you're supposed to have the support from or that, that comfort from. And I wasn't getting that either. So it was just a lot. It was a toll on me. And then mentally, it killed me. I was like, fuck, like no energy for anything. Like I was in a dark place. And it took me a long time. The first thing for me was like really identify like, okay, I got to really, I got to get right. And it's not a physical thing. It's mentally. And just, I think that first thing of acknowledging it is like a huge step for me. And I was like, okay, like I need to address this. I need help in these areas. And being able to do that, that was the start of, getting to where I'm at now. I'm like in a great place and I feel comfortable talking about it now. But those are some dark days for me. And especially, fuck, everything's public. Like that's the crazier part. But yeah, it's something that's like everyone goes through different struggles. Some bigger than others, but yeah, it's everyone, has their own battles. And I think that was tough for me, just knowing like I didn't really have that support either from teammates or whatever it was at that time.
No, call it like it is. Let's call it like it is. Yeah. And that I love Joel and that I love Doc, but like they essentially threw you under the bus after Game 7. Like that's indisputable.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, to both of you guys, doesn't it just objectively make sense that when you're in a work situation like that, no matter what it is, you would want to leave? Like, I don't know what job you're in where that kind of thing happens, where you would not want to look to do something different. You wouldn't want to just like opt right back into that situation after that kind of thing happens. It feels like everybody should want that. And I understand the dynamics of the NBA and the value of a player like you and everything like that. And it's not going to happen overnight.
I mean, you know that athletes aren't human beings, man. We don't operate the same way.
And I think that was a part of it too. Like people like, well, let's take his money. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the money. Like I don't care about the money. It's not about the money for me now. Like I want peace and happiness. Like I want to be in a good place. And that, if that costs me whatever it's going to cost, that's what it costs. Like my peace is more valuable than, money.
Wow. I don't know the inner workings of everything. Why did you come back for 2 days of practice?
Because I was trying to do the right thing. I was trying to. Which day? Are you talking about the day that I got?
The day you came. My understanding is, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Again, my understanding is there was a trade request at some point before training camp.
Yeah.
You weren't going to come. Then you ended up coming, and you went a couple of days of practice, and then one day Doc kicked you out.
Yeah.
And you were texting, probably some girl.
No. Hold on. So
I might have made that last part up.
So people made that up too. I had my jersey in my pocket, in my sweatpant pocket. So they thought it was a phone. I don't know how they thought it was a phone, but that's what that situation was. To clear that up.
Okay. So why did you?
Because I was trying to do the right thing, at least like do right by, whatever the fuck, the team, my teammates, whatever, whoever it is, but trying to do the right thing. And I just was not in that place to play. Like I wasn't, like I just couldn't do it. And I, getting kicked out of that practice that day, I actually spoke to Doc before practice. I was like, Doc, I'm not ready. Like mentally, I'm not ready. Please just understand that. I tried to let him know prior. And he was like, well, I'm going to put you in anyway. I'm like, all right. Told me to get in. I was like, I looked at him like, it was like 1 minute into practice. Like, man, get in. I'm like, first of all, no one's doing that. You're doing this on purpose. And that's how I felt too. I was like, okay, so it seems like everyone's just trying to fuck with me now. Like I'm getting fined for like not lifting weights, but physically I'm like one of the strongest guys on the fucking team. So I'm like, now they're finding me for little things. And it was just a buildup of, obviously I didn't handle things the right way, but also the team didn't either. And the people who had that power, but
What's the word? I think it's irreconcilable differences when they talk about a divorce. There's not one thing. It's just a buildup of things. Is that sort of how you would describe those 5 or 6 months or whatever it was? 3-4 months, I guess, because it was a longer season because of the COVID stuff. So it wasn't that long of a gap between the Hawks series and training camp. But is that sort of what it was?
Yes and no. Like for me, I was trying to, for myself personally, get to a good place, like to get back on the floor. So it was never even like getting on the floor was my priority and trying to get myself to a place where I was mentally good to do that. And I was in such a bad place where I was like, fuck, like I'm trying to get here and you guys are like throwing all these other things at me to where you're not helping. And that's all I wanted was help. I didn't feel like I got it from the coaches, teammates. I won't say all teammates because I had this great guys on that team that, did reach out that are, still my friends. But I didn't feel like I got that. And it was just a tough place for me.
Is that we've talked about how this is what you signed up for to a certain extent, to the union you're going to have to deal with. But I just am thinking about this putting myself in your shoes for a second of like when this kind of thing is happening. And we've talked about all these sort of reports that have come out that haven't been true and everything like that. But it feels like it's a cascading thing where what makes this different, to my point earlier about most jobs, is everything is public and you have no way to respond. So they could say like, everyone flew out to your house in LA and you said, fuck off, I'm calling the cops on you and stuff like that. And what are you going to do? You can't respond to every single thing.
Right. I forgot that happened.
But that's all. Yeah. So like so many things happen and people don't really realize like, that's not the truth. Like you guys were going to fly out. Now you want to fly out to the end of when training camp's about to start. Like I was in LA for months. Like no one came. Like no one was there.
Yeah.
Like you could have came. Like now you want to make it public that you were flying out. That's bullshit. Like no one's getting on that plane. But come on, man. Like it's fucking truth. Like there were guys in LA that didn't say anything to me. But like that's irrelevant to me. Like there was a lot of things that were just getting put out like that shouldn't have been put out. And those people know who they are.
As always, thank you for listening to the show. Please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Wondery, wherever you listen to your podcast. We appreciate you guys.